to share an awesome tool called Calendly. I've been using it for quite some time, and it's definitely making my life a lot easier. It's things making things a lot easier to collaborate, and it's a beautiful tool. I've been using it, and I've tried and tested a lot of other tools, but did not nothing came close to what Calendly is with terms of ease, flexibility, and customization. So yeah, you do have two different accounts on it. One is a free account and the other is the price account. So you can choose at what is your requirement. I'm using a free account because that solves my purpose. And you get a 14-day trial on it. On a free account, you can have one calendar per user, and you can. So if you see that everything is same, but you can only have one event type. Now, if you are a person who has a lot of requirement wherein you want different people to book, maybe someone to book 15 minutes, someone to book half an hour, someone to book maybe a health session and a meeting. So if you need different kind of events, you might think of upgrading it. But if you are like me who just wants one person, one kind of event that people can book with you, this works out absolutely great, right? So, and the other options which are available are either priced at the same or even higher. So this by far is a very good option. Now, if I already have an account, so I will simply log in. You can sign up with your Google account, so that way it goes ahead and takes care of all the other logging and everything else, synchronization with your calendar and all. Yeah, you'll have to allow it to access your calendar and all. So just give it a quick minute. Yeah, so this is the only active event. This one is grayed out. So in future, if I want, I can enable this. This was just a test run. So this is your dashboard kind of thing where you can see what all events you have. You can edit. But what we'll do is we'll create a new account. But before that, let's look at integrations. In integration, you can integrate with a lot of tools and options, right? And they keep on adding. They keep on adding more. So, yeah, some key integrations that I definitely recommend is Zoom, because that's what we use normally for our meetings, and it automatically integrates. And we'll show how that can be done. So, if you go to accounts and go to calendar connections, that is the first thing that you would want to do, get a calendar connected. So it's pretty simple. If I disconnect and reconnect, okay, so if I simply click, let me disconnect it for you all. So right now there's nothing connected, right? So what I can do is I can simply click on connect and it would do the rest on its own. You just have to allow this. Now, if you're like me who manages my Google Calendar with different layers of calendar, which means you have multiple calendars inbuilt. So yeah, you get that when you enable it. So if you see, I have one as my primary camera, one for my business, one for my office, and yeah, sleeping calendar is also there, which I created so that I do not want people to book when that is there. Because I work in rotational shift, I normally update it here, so that way it is showing. And because I'm available in the night and people from all around the world can book me if I'm working on night, that's why I have something. But I want everything to be added only to my primary calendar. So I can even choose if I can create a secondary layer and I can add people to or I can instruct Calendly to add to that particular calendar. So yeah, that customization is definitely there. Once that is done, I think that is good enough from here. If I look at apps, I can sync with my other apps also. So if you see there are multiple apps available, but we don't want to get into that. We straight away want to get into the exciting stuff, right? So let's schedule our first event. So I'll turn this off for now, and I'll click on an event. Right. So I can either create a group event or I can create a one-on-one event. Um, So these are the two different kind of events that can be created. So let's create a one-to-one event, right? And you can give it a name, say meeting with Rajiv. You can just name whatever you want. That would add as the name of the event, which people would say. Normally, I tend to add the duration so that people would understand. So I would normally name it like 30 minutes phone call with Rajiv, or maybe health session with Rajiv, something like that, which makes it more understandable, right? And say this is a phone call. So what I would do is I would then go ahead and select a location which is phone call. If you see, it has integration with all the other meeting invites as well. So because it is a phone call, I would select phone call, and I would rather use I will call my invitees rather than my invitees would call me, because that way they are giving their phone numbers and I can control, or I can call them. I can write a summary, or I can write a message over here. If I want, I can add a description, and this would become the link. You can definitely customize this to whatever you want: 30-minute call or phone call, or 30 phone call, whatever you want, your liking, and you can change the color, say, and then the moment you click on next, it automatically shows your calendar and all. So make sure your 30 is selected over here, and you can also add custom minutes if you want, if you don't want 30 minutes. Something which is very interesting over here is events with schedule 30 60 calendar days. This is something which we really want to change, right? So let's select 30 over here, and let's select here. Over a period of rolling days is basically for the next how many days it opens up your calendar. So I normally keep it to 10 days. So anyone who wants to book me can only book me for the next 10 days. They cannot book me beyond that. Right. So that way I would also be able to plan my future days, and I would click on apply. Time zone by default it takes it, so let it be as it is. And it is showing me my calendar, right? So because I work in shifts, I and I'm open throughout the day. That's the reason why, if you remember, I have that sleeping calendar. But if you are someone who works in a normal shift and who just wants a couple of hours in a day available for other people to book your calendar, you can change that, and we'll come to that in a minute. But let's look at the advanced section first, right? So yeah, under advanced, set the frequency of available. I want people to book me for 30 minutes kind of thing. They should be able to see 30-minute slots. Now, if I'm doing a 1 hour session, I can convert this to 1 hour slots. It's completely up to us. Event max per day, I leave it blank because people can look in it and book accordingly. Maximum scheduling notice. So this would prevent people from last minute changes kind of thing, right? So that is this. So 4 hours is good enough, and buffer time. So basically, if you want people to not book you back to back, you can give a buffer time. So you need 15 minutes before and 15 minutes after off, or 30 minutes before, 30 minutes after off. That is there, right? And normally I keep this 24 hours, just so that people cannot book me right now. I would know 1 hour in advance that okay, sorry, 1 day in advance that okay, I have a booking coming in, and that way I would be able to plan my day accordingly. So I normally keep it 24 hours, and I leave this blank. I'm absolutely fine with it. But if you want, you can have an after 10-15 minutes buffer, because at times if the meeting stretches by another 15 minutes, you still have that buffer time, right? So completely customizable. That's the good part of it. And hours, you can click on any one day, and you can select. Say if you do not want 9 is too early for you, you can say from 10 in the morning to maybe 8 in the night. After that, you would not be available, right? And then you want to just apply it on that particular day. You want to apply it on all the Mondays, or you want to apply it to multiple. So I want to apply it on all the days, right? So it does the change everywhere. But if you see, there are gray days over here. So this basically means that they are not yet open for booking. I've just opened for the next 10 days, right? And say Sunday you do not want anything, right? So you can mark it as I'm unavailable, right? And then apply to all Sundays. So all Sundays become off. So no one can book me on a Sunday. Say on a Wednesday, I am available only from say 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., right? And then apply to all Wednesdays. So it you can customize it the way you want basically, right? And that's the beauty of it. And then when you click on next, you can go ahead and you can click on questions. The name is required. I normally prefer first name and last name, and then email address is required. Phone number, if you remember, we had selected that I would call back my invitees, and that's why the phone number is a mandate over here. They can add questions, and notification would come in, and yeah, that's good enough. So the moment you click on save, that does it. So if you see now, let's go back. You have an event created, right? And something which I would highly recommend is create a photo. And I normally have the same photo on my LinkedIn profile as well as my Calendly profile, so that way people can relate, people can understand. They are not different photos, so I normally keep a photo here, right? And I can share this link with people. If I simply go ahead and paste this link, they can go ahead and they can book. They would see something like this, right? So, and say it is only showing my next couple of days open, and today being a Sunday, they cannot book me for the next 24 hours. So they'll not be able to book for 24 hours. Time slot is arranged accordingly. So say if I click for 16th, I do not have a lot of slots available. It is only showing my free slots, right? It is not showing my entire day. And if you look at 17th, I'm not available before 12, right? And I'm not available after 7. I might have some of the other meetings scheduled, right? So and that way in between also, if you see, there is something over here, that's why it is not showing. So it's a pretty interesting thing and pretty easy. I can simply share a link and people can book the invite and they can book the day accordingly. I would get an email as soon as they've booked it, and that way it helps me also plan my day, right? So I hope this would help.